Hey, welcome back. We're live from Wilmington, Massachusetts at the Shriners Auditorium for Lobster Roll 2019. My name is Scar Trek.
I'm Rosetta Stone.
And we are ready for Game 4 tonight. We've got the Naptown Tornado Sirens taking on Sacramento Capital Mall Stars. And this is the second game of the day for both of these teams.
That is correct. Both teams have already played this morning. We had the Sacramento Capital Mall Stars facing off against... You know what? I've already forgotten. They played Boston.
They played Boston. Yeah, that's right. And then Naptown this morning, first game of the day against Houston, took the win. Naptown, of course, coming in the most highly ranked team this weekend, ranked number 28. Capital Mall Stars from Sacramento coming in ranked number 42.
Right, they're the lowest ranked team this weekend, so they have a lot to prove. And they're also coming off of a big roster shakeup at the end of the season. So about half of the Sacramento players are new to the charter.
Well, let's run through these charters and let you know. I guess we don't have the actual game rosters quite yet, but takes a whole charter in my book. So let's read through it. For the Tornado Sirens tonight, we've got number 00, Roulette Wheels, number 07, Chariot of Fire, number 123, Diamond, number 16, Crash NDU, 237, Scorpiopathic, number 262, Langer, number 312, Emily Udell, number 5, True Debauchery, number 51, Micah, number 669, Teeth, number 7, Dora the Destroyer, number 76, Will Smith, number 808, Boomsday, number 84, Wham Bam, 856, Iggy Impalia, and number 934, Black Eyed Sue.
All right, on the Sacramento Roller Derby charter, we have 0618, Pink Floyd, 1006, Naylor Swift, 108, Namaslay, 117, She-Ra, 124, your MVP from the first game today, Crystal, 13, Sonata Frayed, 1415, Bird Dog, 1492, Conquistadorable, 17, Rhodes Warrior, 1985, Con Artist, 327, NACA, 424, Lana Payne, 451, Shock and Auburn, 501, Dorothy Vader, 58, Blushy Lushy, 606, Ariella Twister, 618, Pippi Longstomping, 86, Slice and Dice, 94, Talls, 970, Narnar Jinx. Today, our stream has some extra special sponsors. Our first day of Lobster Roll is brought to you by the Derby Apex. Training tips, league resources, scores, analysis, and so much more. The Apex is your one-stop roller derby media source. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and bookmark thederbyapex.com to stay up to date with the latest news from Derby Twitter and the Derby community. And as a personal plug, I want to add that you should follow their Patreon. I'm a patron on Patreon, and all the patrons got first shot at signing up for their Derby Twitter RollerCon challenge for this year. So if you're not following them on Patreon, you're missing out. And I would also like to let you all know out there that New England Roller Derby Report, who's running our stream today, would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath, SEWCIOPATH. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals. Size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details.
Sociopath. So if you're just joining us, once again, we've got Naptown taking on Sacramento. Naptown wearing black jerseys tonight, Sacramento in white. Both of these teams already played one game today. Naptown first game of the day. I think Sacramento was just 2 games ago, right?
Right, also known as the second game of today. So there's just been a lot of games.
There's been a lot of games.
And more to come. So one thing about this tournament that's different than a lot of other tournaments is it's not a ranked thing. We're not playing for first place. Everyone's here to play everyone else. So
yeah, it's a little bit of a round robin kind of thing. Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity for teams to play each other that wouldn't maybe normally get to play each other. So, for example, Sacramento and Naptown, as far as I'm aware, haven't ever played each other, or at least not in recent history. Sacramento and Indianapolis being kind of far away from each other.
Yeah.
So this is a really good chance for teams to see what they can do against a new opponent.
So you could probably tell us a little bit about the history of Sacramento leagues joining forces. What was it, 2 years ago now? Or a year and a half, something like that?
Yeah, this is the second season. Sacramento Roller Derby merged at the very beginning of 2018. We incorporated as the new league. So before that, we had 2 leagues in Sacramento Sacramento, or I've already forgotten them, Sac City Rollers and Sacred City Derby Girls. And so last season we joined forces and became one league, and you were there at Clover Cup, which was their first tournament.
And they totally swept that tournament. It was it was 3 for 3, right?
Yeah, they took first place in that tournament. So this season's starting a little rockier because we saw a lot of retirements. So a lot of like our top billing jammers, like Forecloser, have retired, and I think, and some of our top blockers like Annie Inklebiter, Devastator, I think a lot of people just wanted to see that first year through. And also Rhodes Villain, who's now on the bench coaching today.
Okay.
So that's a big change, and so the team is still getting used to each other here in this tournament, so it's a little different than how last season started.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're my team, so obviously I still have total faith in them.
Yeah, and a very, very strong team, very aggressive, solid defense, and some really fast and pushy style jamming out there as well, I find, from the Sacramento team.
Absolutely.
So we just got a note from our producer. If you watched the game earlier, you would have noticed Diamond, number 123 on Naptown, apparently taking this game off for an injury. Not sure any more details than that, but
I think something happened during the warm-up because I saw her skating away, but that's definitely going to be a big hit for their jamming rotation because she was one of the big powerhouses of the scoreboard for Naptown this morning.
Yeah, Naptown had a interesting game, the first game of the tournament this morning. They started off trailing for all of the first period and then about half of the second period, and then about halfway through the second period, kind of fourth quarter, they raged back into the game, took control, and did not let up until the very end, and ended up winning that game, avoiding the upset for the rankings, and coming into this game number 4 today with a win already.
Right, and I think that makes a big difference to come in having already won a game. Like, you feel psychologically more ready to take on the next team. So Sacramento at a bit of a disadvantage for that because they already played and lost a game today, and so you have to mentally overcome that feeling.
Right.
But I will say with that Naptown game, because I watched a lot of it, I thought Houston was going to take it because they did have that early lead, but I think maybe it was just too early in the morning, and Naptown really gelled more as the game went on. And I was like, oh, here's that 28 ranked team.
Right.
So I'm really curious to see what happens here in this second game. Like, are we going to see that fully cohesive team that emerged in the second half of their first game today? Or are they still going to get off to a slow start? Because a slow start can really tip the whole game.
Yeah. Well, we do have a wonderful producer joining us for the call queue. So he's keeping an eye on the Twitch chat if you want to ask any questions or give us any announcing advice.
Don't.
Just don't.
Don't give us some advice.
But we're looking forward to the game. We've also got the hashtags on Twitter going on. It's BRD Lobstah Roll.
Lobstah. You have to spell it the way
Lobstah.
it's intended to be said.
Right. Or you can use, I think, Boston Derby.
Boston
Boston
Derby.
Derby. Yeah. So we're keeping an eye on those. And it looks like we are counting down to roller derby tonight. Still don't have any game rosters, but hopefully those are on their way. And we are at the Aleppo Shriners Auditorium in Wilmington, Massachusetts. We have an open house tonight, so starting to fill up. We've got a live band for halftime. Lots of action in here. It's going to be loud, I think.
I think it's going to be a loud one. I've been told that Boston loves sports, and there is a really big roller derby fan base here, so there's a lot of people, I think, who come to the games all the time. And we've got a fairly full house and people still trickling in. We have 2 games. And I think of the public showing today, the big draw is going to be the next game, of course, which is Boston versus Dublin. And I think what could possibly interest Boston more.
Right, in March.
Yeah.
That's a big time draw.
So you may hear a little background noise, and that just means people are having a great time. We hope you're having a great time too, wherever you're watching, whether it's at home or at a watch party. I know when I watch at home, I yell at the computer and also my cats.
My cat loves roller derby.
Yeah, they're big fans, big fans.
So it looks like we've got our first lineup out there ready to go. 6 seconds counting down on the time to derby. That's number 76 for Naptown, Will Smith, also known in a previous life as Made in America.
Will Smith is quite a choice for a derby name. Just putting it out there, Will Smith. In white, we have Sacramento. That's Ariel Twister starting out on the line.
With those great mustardy orange skates. I love that.
They are skates that make a statement, and she's a jammer who makes a statement, so it's fair.
So Will Smith pushed to the inside by Lesby, or Lushy, I'm sorry.
I was like, who is Lesby?
Who is Lesby?
Learning about new people. Aerial twister, first out, first lead jammer of the game. As a Sacramento frequent watcher, that's really what I expect to see. She's definitely one of the strongest jammers on the bench. We're seeing Will Smith getting dragged back almost to the jammer line.
Yeah, Naptown has been very quick in this first jam and also in their game earlier today. As soon as they don't have that lead jammer status, the star immediately comes off the helmet, and that's what's happened now with Will Smith and a successful star pass to the Naptown pivot. Going to put some pressure to get this called off. Already 4 points on the jam from Ariel, and coming in for another scoring pass. Nice jump around the inside line.
Yeah, when she goes for that apex, you're done.
Yeah.
She's a very skilled apex jumper, and she has a lot of stability. So she was able to take advantage of that time, get the points in, and call it off before Naptown jammer made it back to the pack.
So a nice 8-0 start for Sacramento roller derby.
It's a little bit of momentum to get your game going.
Yeah, and I do find, as a skater who has played in some tournaments previously, I almost have more sympathy for Naptown, having played that very first game this morning. Sometimes the longer the break is,
right, it's hard to get back.
Actually, the harder it is. It seems a little counterintuitive, but the muscles actually get completely cold, and you start to feel everything from the first game, and you have to suit back up and get ready for the second game. So that's a rough draw for Naptown. But 2 games in one day is really
it's
never
hard.
easy. Yeah.
No matter how you cut it, 2 games in one day is hard because you're drawing up so much adrenaline and energy, and even if you practice roller derby all the time, playing a game, it takes something else out of you.
It's a whole other level.
You're
for sure.
Going for greater intensity.
So looks like we had a little official timeout, I think that was, or team timeout is what the scoreboard says. It's pretty early for a team timeout, but we're back underway. It looks like
do what you have to do.
Yeah, Scorpiopathic taking the star for Naptown.
And that is Nail Her Swift for Sacramento. And Nail Her Swift was one of the most successful jammers this morning, even though Sacramento had a really hard time against Boston. She frequently got lead jammer status when a lot of her fellow jammers were not. So I'll be interested to see if her style is similarly successful here against Naptown.
Scorpiopathic picking up lead for the Tornado Sirens.
So far, Nail Her Swift style, perhaps not what it needs to be. But it's only her first jam.
Scorpiopathic gets knocked out by number 94, Talls. A little bit of a run back there. Scorpiopathic now just Talls to beat, gets a bump to the inside line as...
Yeah, Nail Her Swift out of the pack, but Scorpiopathic did something really smart, and she challenged Talls and Shock and Auburn by going through their arms to try to pull that multiplayer block, or at least make them let her go. So she still didn't get out of the pack, but she did make them split up.
So going into jam number 3, we've had 1 lead jammer status for both teams. 8 points on the board for Sacramento, 2 on the board for Naptown. And that looks like Roulette Wheels taking the star for Naptown.
And we've got Crystal and star for Sacramento.
Roulette Wheels thought she had a line up the outside, but that was number 970 with the big takeout, Narnar Jinx.
Narnar Jinx will take you out, absolutely. And we've got Crystal stuck behind the Naptown pack in turn 1. Her style earlier today involved pushing the pack forward until they had to yield.
Roulette Wheels not sure if she was safe moving forward there, but it looks like she wanted to play it safe, go back behind the pack, and restart this pass. She makes it out. Lead jammer status going to Naptown.
And it took 3/4 of the track before any jammer got out of the pack. So that defense, even though it was moving forward, it was really hanging onto those jammers.
So Roulette Wheels makes it back into the pack, gets 1 singular point, calls off the jam. So Naptown now sitting at 3 points, Sacramento at 8.
Sometimes 1 point is all you can get and all you need. All right, we are almost 4 minutes into the first half of this game. Score is 3-8. Sacramento leading by a cool 5 points.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, you're a little late, but it's all good. We've got Sacramento in white, Naptown in black. It's Will Smith with the star for Naptown.
And for Sacramento, that is Namaslay. This is her first sanctioned game for Sacramento.
Cool.
She did not play this morning, so we'll switch out in our jammer bench. Both jammers now coming back. It looks like number 76.
That's Will Smith.
Will Smith pulling back Namaslay behind the pack.
Yeah, and Will Smith, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the feed, but she is sporting a brutal bruise on her thigh, on her right thigh.
How you know she's working?
Yeah, probably from this morning, no doubt.
Oh, wow, that is a tough bruise.
It's looking pretty gruesome. So Will
We've all
Smith
been there.
out and all the way around, coming in for points now as Namaslay completes the initial pass for Sacramento.
Naptown in turn 2, rushing in for that offense, trying to buy time. It worked out because Will Smith got 4 points and was able to get out, call it, before Namaslay rejoined the pack. And if you are new to roller derby or still learning it, that switch between offense and defense is really huge because everyone is simultaneously doing both.
Yeah.
So you have to recognize, when you need to switch, how much time you have to do it, and it's no easy task.
So out with the star next, we've got number 237, Scorpiopathic for Naptown.
And aerial twister once again for Sacramento. I believe this is the same matchup we saw earlier.
Yeah, Scorpiopathic able to dance around the outside line. Lead jammer status going to the Tornado Sirens. Ooh, and a big hit on the inside line by number 7.
That's Rhodes Warrior.
17. So Scorpiopathic on the scoring pass. Ariel still working on the initial pass.
Scorpiopathic, although on a scoring pass, caught behind Rhodes Warrior, Narnar Jinx, and Con Artist, who are not making it very easy for her. And in fact, the entire game is completely at a standstill here in turn 1.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that today so far. The pack just kind of coming to a grinding halt there right at the pivot line.
Yeah. So
Scorpiopathic makes it out for 4 points, calls off the jam.
that's right, she calls it off just as Ariel also getting out of the pack, and I don't blame her because I wouldn't want to give Ariel Twister any chance to score. So this was a lead change with that 4-point pass. Naptown now taking the lead at 11 points to 8. And it was their first. Sorry, I'm getting information from our producer. Sacramento scored 8 points in the first jam and has yet to move. Naptown has been picking away at that score in the last 4 jams.
Yeah, we've got Roulette Wheels taking the star for Naptown.
Naylor Swift for Sacramento.
And we have parked the defense in corner 1 for the moment.
Everyone's favorite defensive arena.
Emergency brake is engaged.
Yeah, it takes, 30 feet to stop in roller derby. Naylor Swift with lead jammer status.
Roulette Wheel's still working on the initial pass up there, 2 to beat in the front. Great job on the defense by Sacramento as Naylor Swift comes through for 4.
And this is the first scoring jam that Sacramento's had since that
It's the first jam.
jam.
Yeah,
So
already 8 points matching. Oh no, just 4 points. I'm getting ahead of myself.
you're just seeing the future.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can announce from the future. We're seeing Talls, the pivot, go in, trying to make a lane for Naylor Swift.
Yeah, nice offense there from Pink as well, but it's going to be a track cut for Naylor Swift. Power jam now for the Naptown Tornado Sirens.
Naptown is just past the star. The pivot, whose number I cannot see, has just taken over as Naptown's jammer to take advantage of this power jam.
Naptown losing a blocker to the box. That's number 856, Iggy Impalia. Big defensive effort from Iggy in the first game. Definitely remember calling her name quite a bit.
So the jammer now for Naptown is Crash Into You.
Yeah, Crash took a number of star passes in the first game as well. Really kind of very aware pivot out there.
She may be aware, but she is struggling against the Sacramento defense.
Looking to draw the jammer back as far as possible.
Right, trying to buy some time. She can't call off the jam because Naylor Swift was the lead jammer and went to the penalty box. So full 2-minute jam, but has now come to its natural conclusion.
Looks like 6 points going up for Sacramento. Naptown held scoreless, so 14 to 11.
It's our second lead change. Everyone's favorite game.
And out next with the star for Naptown, it's Will Smith.
For Sacramento, we have Crystal in star. Crystal going down right off the line. Will Smith looking for that outside line, but Narnar Jinx not having it, bumping her out, and Will Smith getting drawn back.
Micah, the captain for the Tornado Sirens, headed to the penalty box for direction of gameplay. And Will Smith takes another hit out of bounds from Sacramento's defense, set up really, really well in the back. Track cut now for the Sacramento Jammer. Power jam for Will Smith.
Will Smith has yet to emerge from the pack, so we'll see. Well, of course, now that I've said it.
Yeah, every
Classic.
Sacramento blocker put the body on, but Will Smith just made it past everyone. And a beautiful jump over the inside line there for 4 points.
You could not have a better looking Apex jump. It was a classic.
It just looked effortless.
Yeah, another casual Apex jump.
Oh, jammers always want to go for 2 in a row.
It's
the second one.
It's the high of it, but much like Icarus, they flew too close to the sun.
She gets knocked down on that one.
Narnar Jinx saw it coming on that second jump and said, not today.
So Will Smith, another 4 points. That's 8 points on the power jam that has now concluded. And Naptown losing Micah to the box again in this jam. Will Smith taking some big hits on the outside line. Blocker follows her out of bounds, but she resets anyway. Coming through on the inside line for another scoring pass.
Rhodes knocking down Will Smith up at the front of the pack. Will Smith was looking for that direction.
Rhodes going to get the low block, I think, there, or was it direction?
I'm not sure, but
something. Guilty.
A penalty occurred.
Yes. A penalty was called. So Naptown starting with 2 defenders in the penalty box. No, I'm sorry, Sacramento with 2, Naptown with 1 in the penalty box.
And that was a big jam for Naptown. 12 points on the scoreboard brings them to 23. Sacramento at 14. We may be in for a very exciting game if this is how it's going to be the whole time.
Yeah, number 237, Scorpiopathic with the star for Naptown, taking on Ariela Twister for Sacramento.
And I've just been told by our producer that that was the first double-digit jam of the game. So it was the biggest jam of the game and the first time anyone passed 10 points. So we're really picking away at the score in this game.
Yeah, and you know, the first 10 minutes or so, it feels like the teams just want to understand each other, understand the officials, understand like the floor, everything else that's going on in the venue and whatnot. So I think now we'll start to see these teams start to assert their team strategies, and of course penalties always come into play.
So the last jam was interesting because Scorpiopathic did get out of the pack first, but there was a no pass, no penalty, so she was not the lead jammer. Ariela Twister got lead, but because Scorpiopathic was so close to the pack, she called it off. No points on either side.
It's Roulette Wheels taking the star again for Naptown Tornado Sirens.
She is up against Namaslay of the Capital Mall Stars. We've got the full press of blockers here in the first straightaway. Rhodes Warrior coming back from the penalty box, trying to play some offense to get Namaslay out.
Yeah, and great defensive work there in the pack by our MVP from the first game, Chariot of Fire on Naptown. Roulette Wheels with lead. Coming in for points, able to sneak through the defense there. 4 points go up for the Naptown Tornado Sirens.
Namaslay getting finally out of, back blocking penalty. She was so close to escaping the pack on that initial pass, but we've got a power jam now for Naptown. Another big opportunity. They just had a big jam. They may be feeling the momentum ready to get going on this game.
Lots of offense coming from the teammates to help Roulette Wheels through on another scoring pass. So that's 8 on the jam so far. We've got 1 blocker for Naptown being released from the penalty box right now. A little bit of reinforcements for the power jam. And it looks like Roulette Wheels going to pick up as many points as possible, get the jam called off, because in the box, Sacramento's jammer is standing, so they wanted to get the power start in our next jam.
Absolutely. They're trying to set up so they'll make sure they get lead jammer in this next jam so they can maintain control of the game.
So I do have a question for you, knowing this team really well. I've always known Pink Floyd to be a very effective jammer for Sacramento and the prior team before that, that shall not be named. But she's been blocking all day today. Is
That's
I noticed so many former jammers taking on blocking roles this year.
From what I understand, Pink Floyd decided she didn't want to jam anymore and wanted to block. So
that's that.
And Rhodes Warrior also really likes to jam and has done her fair share of jamming rotations, but is now in as a blocker. We have a really deep jammer bench right now.
Well,
a lot of people like to jam and are really good at it.
Yeah,
so.
That's great. I mean, what a good situation to be in. So Will Smith in lead jammer status right now, calls it off in the nick of time to prevent Sacramento from scoring. Looks like no points for either team. I'm surprised that Will Smith didn't pick up any points, but I think she was kind of hanging out at the back of the pack, kind of biding time.
Right.
So 0-0 on the last jam.
She may not have picked up points, but Naptown is really in control of this game. 80% of the jams they've had lead jammer status, which means, they are deciding, if Sacramento is going to get points, really. Because
and they're deciding how much period clock time to just bleed
they can
down.
just burn time if that's what they want to do.
Quick lead jammer call for Scorpiopathic of Naptown as Naptown loses another blocker to the penalty box.
Naylor Swift just pirouetted out of the pack. She took a big hit from a Naptown blocker, but was able to stay in play on her toe stops. And now she's going around for that scoring pass.
Ooh, nice hit to the inside by number 669.
That is Teeth.
Yeah, great save there. Aerial Twister coming through on a scoring pass. Scorpiopathic entering the pack on the second scoring pass for Naptown right now.
I'll say that is actually Naylor Swift on her scoring pass. But the important point is points.
Points. All right, so it looks like 3 more points go up for Naptown. So it looks like a total of 7 on the jam, bringing them up to 39. Sacramento with 4 on that jam, bringing them up to 18. And we've crossed under 15 minutes left in period 1.
Right, we're a quarter into the game, and this is a relatively low score on both sides for 15 minutes of roller derby. So 39 points in 15 minutes, that's about 10 laps of jamming, give or take.
Definitely a testament to the defense in this one. We've got Will Smith taking the star for Naptown.
And that is Crystal up front working on those last 2 blockers. She is your lead jammer now. And I think that is her first time being lead jammer. And it's also, I believe, the 6th. They broke a 5 jam streak of no lead jammer. So that is pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, Naptown losing another blocker to the penalty box as Pivot Chariot of Fire is released.
Up front, we've got number 856 for Naptown. That's Iggy Impalia, really doing some great one-on-one blocking.
Star pass to Chariot of Fire for Naptown, putting some pressure on with the speed coming around there.
Right. Crystal, I believe, was going for one more round. Sacramento's blockers trying to get in front to buy some time, but the whole pack took off at a run. So
yeah, Naptown raced up front, protecting those points.
To be fair, that's what I would do in that situation.
Yeah. So we want to thank one of our sponsors for the weekend, Bruised Boutique, the world's largest derby store made for derby by derby. You can visit them online at bruisedboutique.com, or they are also here in the building this weekend, and they have a brick and mortar location in Nashua, New Hampshire.
That sounds close to here.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
I'm no expert, but...
So out next, we got Roulette Wheels, number 00 for Naptown.
That is Aerial Twister for Sacramento. I see Pivot Shock and Auburn going in for a little offense, providing a distraction. Aerial Twister now your lead jammer. That's 2 in a row for Sacramento. This is the most lead jammers in a row they've had so far.
Aerial Twister went for a big jump, didn't quite stick the landing.
That would have been a very long jump.
Yeah, that would have been a big one for sure. Coming up to the back of Naptown's defense. Once again, kind of stuck in the back. I noticed in the game earlier that Naptown really likes to set their defensive wall up in the back of the pack and kind of isolate the jammer back there where offense can't always get back there to help. So we'll watch for that strategy in play tonight.
Well, not only is it harder to play offense when you're in the front, you can't have the jammer push you out of play.
Right.
So if you're in the front and the jammer keeps pushing you away from the pack, you have to yield. But if you're in the back, you end up sandwiched with the other pack. You're still in play.
Yeah. So Roulette Wheels still working on the initial pass here for Naptown as Ariel coming in for the second scoring pass for Sacramento.
Some very strong defense from the Sacramento pack, and that is Pink Floyd, Shock and Auburn, and Con Artist. We've got Narnar Jinx in the box, so I was going to say it's a power pack, but they're all power defense packs.
Yeah. Strong squads. Roulette Wheels getting some help from number 84, Wham Bam.
Naptown going for the offense, but ending up basically positioned in the front.
Roulette Wheels looking for pivot, but I don't see anyone on Naptown out with the pivots, with the pivot stripe. So I don't believe that there's
correct.
a pivot available.
May not be a pivot. It may just be the muscle memory if you've trained to take the star off when you hear the lead whistle.
Yeah. So bummer of a jam for Naptown on that one, especially without fielding a pivot. That's too bad, as Roulette Wheels was looking for looking for the pass. But 8-0, the pickup for Sacramento Roller Derby. About 10.5 minutes left in period 1.
All right, so our score right now, 39-30, 9-point difference is 2 jammer laps. So not far behind, and once again, I'm astounded by the low score here in this game for 20 minutes of roller derby to have 30 points on the board. Not a lot of points.
Defense is winning this game for sure. Scorpiopathic picking up lead jammer status for Naptown.
And in a hurry, that's one of the quickest lead jammer calls I've seen in this game for sure.
Number 108, Noma Slade with the star for Sacramento, able to complete the initial pass.
That's right, she had a little hop over the apex, able to get free, and you know, so much defense falls apart when you hit that turn because you have to really hug the line, otherwise it opens up for that jammer.
Scorpiopathic with the 4-point pickup, calls off the jam, holding Sacramento scoreless there. And it looks like Will Smith taking the star for the next jam up against Naylor Swift.
Well, while we're here, I'm going to give a shout out to one of our sponsors today. Why be flat when you can sparkle?
Why?
Just putting that out there for you, Star Trek. Refreshingly natural polar seltzer has no calories, no sodium, no sugar, no sweeteners, and no gluten, but loads of taste. Hashtag Polar Derby if you're on Twitter.
So Will Smith got a big hit out of bounds.
That's Blushy Lushy heading to the penalty box.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have one in the box for both teams. 51 getting released back onto the pack. That's the captain, Micah, for Naptown. Both jammers stuck in this crazy defense here at the start of the jam. No lead jammer established yet.
I saw Micah coming back from the penalty box and playing some offense, and it was enough of a distraction that Will Smith was able to get out of the pack and become the lead jammer.
So yeah, Will Smith and Naptown on a scoring pass now. Pretty easy one, able to step around the defense on the inside line, pick up 4 points for the Tornado Sirens.
Naylor Swift now out of the pack right behind her. She took off the cap to distract the blockers, but she put it right back on when she got out of the pack.
Nice move through the pack there by Will Smith, picking up 3 points as she calls off the jam.
Yeah, she was able to take advantage of the pack being a little separated. They weren't as close together as they often are.
So Naptown opening up a bit of a lead here, 20 points between the two teams, 8 minutes left to play in the first period. And out to jam next, that's Roulette Wheels for Naptown, taking on number 124, Crystal, for Sacramento.
This might be the biggest lead we've seen so
think
far.
you're right.
And again, 20-point lead is not big for roller derby, but it is the biggest lead we've seen in the game.
Roulette Wheels dealing with the Sacramento defense up at the front, while Crystal is fighting against a braced three-wall from Naptown in the back, where they do like to set up their defense at the jam start, it seems like.
Yeah, we're seeing Roulette Wheels for a second there was trying to get in on that unattended inside line, but now she's back out towards outside, getting that offensive help from number 51, Micah.
Naptown losing number 5 to the penalty box.
Crystal now getting the lead jammer status, first out of the pack.
And a successful star pass over there on the Naptown side. Looks like Chariot of Fire taking the star.
So it is a race to complete this scoring pass for Sacramento, trying to get the points before calling the jam.
Great defensive work there at the back of the pack by number 669, Teeth, for Naptown Tornado Sirens.
And it looks like...
Yeah, no points.
Yeah, they put on the pressure. Crystal had to call off the jam to keep them off the board.
Yeah, so some nice defensive work on Naptown. I noticed this morning that Naptown plays very, very aggressive defense. They're fast, they move to the jammer, they are together. Their defense is just very I guess, aggressive.
They're on it.
They're on it, yeah.
Well, and I think that detail moving to the jammer is so critical, because if you give these jammers at this level any room to work with, they're gone.
They're gone, yeah.
You have
completely.
to come to them. Like, why would they come and be on your butt, basically?
Exactly.
They don't want that.
That's the kind of thing we're seeing from Naptown, and especially as they do it in the back of the pack, they're really making life tough for the jammers back there. Not able to get the offensive help that they need. Still no lead jammer in this jam as, okay, Naptown pushing up front.
Just kidding.
Yeah, making a liar out of me as usual. So Scorpiopathic picking up lead for Naptown. Oh, wow, nice footwork up in the front by Ariel, able to make it out on the initial pass. Oh, and a nice move around the outside line for Scorpiopathic, picking up all 4 points and calling off the jam.
So we saw a lot of penalties in that jam. 2 Sacramento blockers, including the pivot now in the penalty box. One of Naptown's blockers is in the penalty box. So it was a lot easier for Naptown to pick up those points, and now they are forcing a shorter pack or a limited pack situation here going into the next jam. But I think we're taking a timeout right now.
Yeah, a little bit of a timeout. So we want to thank Wicked Skatewear, your source for roller skates, gear, and apparel since 2007. You can check out their selection at wickedskatewear.com.
And I want to thank everyone who's watching on twitch.tv/WFTDA. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box. I have it right in front of me and may even answer your question here on the air. But we also have one of our production crew answering questions in the chat in typing mode instead of in spoken word.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us. I think this is the first ever Lobster Roll. I'm pretty sure it is, 2019.
Kicking off. The first Lobster Roll is the first tournament that Boston Derby has hosted.
Oh, cool.
And it's the first WFTDA recognized tournament of the season. So
yeah,
it's a big deal.
I know that there are a ton more recognized tournaments. There's so many.
You
need to look it up on your own. WFTDA.com/events.
It's half a page.
And a big attempted jump there by Will Smith. Not able to make it, but taking advantage of the reset there. Wide open inside lane. Will Smith makes it through for lead for Naptown.
But Naylor Swift was able to follow the same hole and is now trying to catch Will Smith. We've got only 2 blockers per team out here, so it's kind of anybody's game.
So Will Smith meets up with the back of the Sacramento defense.
Right, that was Talls. What can you do?
Yeah, Talls was there.
Talls for you.
So Felder-Renese called off the jam. 3 points going up for Naptown, holding Sacramento scoreless. So 57-30 on the board, and we've got under 5 minutes left to play in the first period.
And for the most part, that's what we're seeing in this game. Naptown is getting a lot of little jams. The biggest jam so far has been 12. They had a 10-point jam. Otherwise, a couple 7-point jams, but mostly like 4 and 3-point jams because they're just picking away at the score, playing smart, and trying as much as possible to keep Sacramento from scoring at all.
Roulette wheels out with the start for Naptown, pushing on a 3-wall in the back from Sacramento.
Yeah, Naptown's not in their preferred position in the back of the pack, and it paid off for Sacramento. Namaslay, I believe, her first lead jam status of the game.
And out as well, Roulette wheels eligible to score now. So the pack really picks up speed as Namaslay comes into the pack. And I see the bench staff from Naptown requesting a skating out of bounds penalty. When Namaslay came up on the outside line there, I guess it looked to them like Namaslay went ahead and skated out of bounds with no contact, so we'll see what the officials saw on that.
Yeah, we'll see if they agree. So even though Namaslay was lead, she didn't put up any points, but she did keep Naptown from getting any points. So we're seeing a lot of these 0-0 jams, or at least where one team has 0 points, because they're working really hard to just be like, screw you, no points.
Yeah, and then in that case, the whole pack, both teams really booked it, just kind of took off to protect points, and yeah, it gets pretty hard to catch up with the pack in that case.
Although we usually expect that the jammer could catch up with the pack, they're usually our faster players, but there's a diminishing returns question. You know, how worth it is it to race after the pack and expend that energy when you've got half a game ahead of you? So while we're here, once again, I'd like to say that our production sponsor today, Sociopath, SEWCIOPATH, has made this possible. They are a skater-run business offering custom-sewn to order legwear for teams and individuals. Size inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details.
My apologies, I'm a big fan. Check him out, Alex's Ugly Sauce.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for play to get back underway here, I can mention a little bit about Naptown's season last year. They played 10 games, 8 of which were sanctioned last year. They took a couple of wins over Team United. They also had wins over Royal City, Garden State, Columbia, and Blue Ridge. They lost twice last year, but it was to Dallas and Madison, 2 more highly ranked teams. So Naptown really had a strong season last year. They're coming in with some momentum this year. Not a whole lot of roster turnover. Their top scoring jammer, of course, Will Smith, 600 points last year over the course of their games.
A lot of points.
It is a lot of points. Scorpiopathic last year had 530 points, and Diamond, the jammer who's not skating in this game tonight, had almost 250 points last year over the course of the season. So out with the start right now, though, Scorpiopathic and Sacramento's jammer in the box. So that skating out of bounds call must have been called.
Right. The officials said, yes, you were skating out of bounds.
Yeah, and I saw there was one official who had eyes on it. He was in the perfect position to see it, so I bet that's what happened.
So Naptown with an opportunity to run away with the score, and our production assistant Q is confirming Naptown did ask for the skating out of bounds penalty, and they won their review, which means they retain their review if they need to call something else.
Scorpiopathic able to complete the initial pass, and now coming in for points. Sacramento's jammer also in the pack, but for the initial pass coming out of the box.
Right, Namaste struggling against that defense in the back of the pack. Again, like you said, they're traditionally in the back. Scorpiopathic trying to push forward on that tough pack anchored by Shock and Auburn, but not having a huge amount of success right now.
So Sacramento jammer able to push through on the initial. Scorpiopathic still having some trouble on Sacramento's defense there. Let's see how many points were picked up before Scorpiopathic was pushed out of bounds. Looks like 3 points go up for Naptown, bringing them up to 60.
That's right, and Scorpiopathic, excuse me, Scorpiopathic smartly calling out the jam before Namaste can return to scoring points.
And Sacramento called an official review of their own now. So why don't we talk a little bit about Sacramento's season last year? We kind of started to because they came out with a bang at Clover Cup last year. That's where you and I met for the first time. And I was so impressed to see how Sacramento started their season. It looks like they played 14 games last year. Wow.
That's a lot of
10 of them were sanctioned. They took 5 sanctioned wins over Rocky Mountain, Houston. Those were and Madison at Clover Cup. And then they also played in one against Terminal City and Tucson.
That was at the Big O.
Okay. And then they also had 5 losses, sanctioned losses last year. It looks like they fell to Minnesota, Tampa, Arizona, Santa Cruz, and Bear City.
Santa Cruz, of course, very tough team. They're currently ranked, I believe, 15.
And getting tougher.
Yeah, they are getting tougher all the time.
Yeah, top scoring jammers for Sacramento, as you mentioned. Ariel Twister, huge asset to the team, 582 points last year.
Of points.
Wow. Naylor Swift, 273 points on the season. And then Pink Floyd, as I mentioned, a very important jammer for the team previously, 272 points last year, but serving as a blocker on the team this year.
Well, and what's interesting, when you gave us the Naptown statistics, you had a couple of jammers who were up around 600 points for the year. But for Sacramento, Ariel Twister, the only one at that level. So even though we're seeing, still really good jammers like Naylor Swift out there scoring points, the volume of points, they're not as high up there. And I think, that's what we're seeing with the score today is, they're good jammers, but they need that extra help to get out of the pack. And when Sacramento's playing a tough team, they're so focused on defense that it's hard to split someone off to play offense, or they're so focused on defense and someone is in the penalty box.
You mentioned a jammer earlier that's not playing this year. Who was it?
The Forecloser?
Forecloser, that's right, of course.
Yeah, Forecloser, long-standing.
Yeah, Sacred City.
Yeah.
And then Bay Area for a year or two,
she played
right?
Bay Area a little bit, so she is one of the stronger jammers as well.
So completely retired now? Is that?
She's completely retired, to my knowledge.
We will miss her.
A big year for retirements for us.
Well, out with the star for Naptown, that's Will Smith, already with lead and now already with points on the board for Naptown. That's 4 points and coming around for more here as Ariel Twister sitting in the penalty box for Sacramento.
And I just got an update about that official review. Sacramento wanted to get a cutting penalty on the opposing jammer, but they lost the review, so officials did not agree.
Yeah, and then Ariel ended up spending part of this jam in the penalty box. So Will Smith around the outside. That's already 12 points on this power jam for Naptown Tornado Sirens.
That's tied for the biggest jam in the game right now, assuming she doesn't score any more points, which she now has.
They are.
So
16
now the
points.
biggest jam in the game.
Yeah. Ariel Twister back into the pack from the penalty box, working on an initial pass, I think, right now for Sacramento.
Ariel trying to matrix her way out of that situation, but gravity wins out once again. She's forced to draw back, but it worked out perfectly because it gave her the runway to get that apex jump.
To launch, take off, get over
you cannot leave that apex unguarded with Ariel Twister. It is.
I mean, even if it is guarded.
It is guarded, but it wasn't enough.
So a big jam for Naptown nonetheless, 20 points to really open up the score on the board for Naptown Tornado Sirens, sitting now at 80 points to Sacramento's 30.
Right, and that was the biggest jam for Naptown in the game, actually just the biggest jam in the game, period. Naptown currently has had lead jammer status in 75% of the jams, and I think that's really why the score is the way it is. They're in control of the game, like we've talked about. So once again, roulette wheels out there for Naptown. Naylor Swift for Sacramento. Naylor Swift popping that outside line. It looks like she is your lead jammer.
Yeah, so Naptown had the defense set up in the back, as they love to do, but Naylor Swift able to sneak around the outside line for lead. Roulette wheels also out and eligible to score now for Naptown.
Roulette wheels in a hurry to get around the track, trying to put up enough pressure, but Swifty loves to, as I like to say, jump the straightaway. And she hopped over the feet of the blockers, and she got her points quickly enough that she was able to do both, call it off, and get points. All right, well, it is now halftime.
That was a fast half.
I was like, no time passed at all. It shows what a good game it is, I think.
So, yeah, Naptown has opened up a little bit of a lead here, but certainly not counting Sacramento out of this one yet.
So, yeah, we'll be back in 15 minutes. We're going to talk you through the second half of this game. Thank you for joining us on Twitch, and we will see you soon.
See you then.
Oh, right now?
Oh, let me remind you about our sponsors. Hey, before we go to halftime, our Saturday-only sponsor, the Derby Apex. So it's the first day of Lobster Roll 2019, and it's brought to you by the Derby Apex. Training tips, league resources, scores, analysis, and so much more. The Apex is your one-stop roller derby media source. You can follow them on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and be sure to bookmark thederbyapex.com so you can stay up to date with the latest news from #DerbyTwitter, and of course
the best Twitter,
the rest of the roller derby community who is not part of #DerbyTwitter.
And New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath, SEWCIOPATH. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order leg wear for teams and individuals. Size inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armbands and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. So now we really are signing off for the half. I'm Rosetta Stone.
My name is Scar Trek.
And we will be back in just over 10 minutes.
Welcome back. We are about to get underway with the second period of our fourth game today. Sacramento Roller Derby taking on the Naptown Tornado Sirens. It is loud in here with Irishmen.
Very loud.
So
There's Irish dancers
there's
here
some,
for the
yeah,
halftime.
way across the hall. Probably pretty difficult to see on the stream, but we've got some Irish dancers over there.
But we did see Naptown dancing on the
Yeah,
stream
Naptown also entertaining.
for the folks at home. So, in the first half of this game, score standing at 80-34, Naptown with a pretty strong lead. I think one thing that was really successful for them, which is something you brought up from the morning, Naptown's blockers positioning at the back of the pack. And I think one of the big reasons that's working is because Sacramento has been pushing the pack forward and trying to get them out of play. So they're not able to do that when the blockers are in the back. But you know, it's working very well for Naptown. And sorry if this commentary is coming out really slow. It's hard to think when it's this loud.
Yeah. Well, I did pick up some penalty information from the officials during halftime, so I can lay that on you. It looks like Naptown sitting at 15 team penalties. We've got several players, I think 4 players with 1 penalty each. We've got 1 player with 2 penalties, 2 players with 2 penalties, and then 1 player with 3 penalties. And number 5 for Naptown,
That is
True Debauchery, sitting on 4 penalties coming into the second period. So that's danger zone, I'd say.
Yeah.
Over on the Sacramento side, 20 team penalties. So leading on the penalty side. Yeah, there's a lot of people with 1 penalty. We've got at least 3 people that I see with 2 penalties, 1 with 3 penalties, and then number 970 sitting on 4 penalties.
That's Narnar Jinx.
Narnar Jinx, yeah, big difference maker in the pack, but finding themselves in the penalty box quite a bit. So I'd say, you know, coaches in the past for me have said that over 30 penalties in a game, it's too much. You're spending too much time in the box. So Naptown sitting at 15, you know, at the halfway point of the game. Sacramento sitting at 20, a little bit heavy on the penalties, I'd say, on the first period. And that's kind of what it looked like to me as I saw people kind of filtering in and out of the box.
I think you're right, and something I've seen a lot with Sacramento is, oh my God, okay.
That was an abrupt end.
An abrupt end to the Irish music. Sorry if I'm now yelling into them.
Yeah.
You know, Sacramento often when they come to tournaments, they do end up very penalty heavy, and I know in my experience from playing roller derby, when I'm trying to play a harder team than I'm used to playing, you know, you do that thing where you're like, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna mess everyone up, and you get a little sloppier because you're trying so hard to play like at a higher level than you're used to.
Yeah, back underway now for period 2. That's Will Smith with the star for Naptown, taking on, I think that's Swifty with the star for Sacramento.
Yeah, that's Naylor Swift.
Both jammers still working on the initial. Oh, and it looks like a penalty. That's cutting the track for Sacramento's jammer. Power jam now for the Naptown Tornado Sirens, and Will Smith out and lead.
That is a good start to the half for Naptown. Not an ideal start to the half for Sacramento. And I see that's number 7, Chariot of Fire, coming in for the offense up front. Will Smith now getting taken out by Con Artist, but I think that is Micah coming in trying to counteract it and buying a little time. Will Smith now out of the pack. That's 4 more points. For those playing the home game, you do not get 5 points now when you lap the other jammer. So even though Swifty was in the penalty box, Will Smith does not get a point for her because there's no point for lapping the jammer now.
Naptown with that defense in the back. Offense being played by Micah, the team captain for the Naptown Tornado Sirens. Will Smith makes it through on the inside line, 4 points for Naptown, and they're at 8 so far in the power jam.
Naylor Swift back on the track, trying to get out free on this initial pass, and Pivot Rhodes Warrior playing a little offense and generally trying to get herself in position to be helpful if Swifty wants to pass the star.
Will Smith taking a bump out of bounds to the inside line and a recycle. Looks like Naptown has had 4 power jams, Sacramento 0. So interesting way that this game has shaped up so far.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with the power jams really having a big effect on the score because you have uninhibited time to score points. You're not worried about playing defense at all. So if we're seeing now almost 60-point lead over 4 power gems, that would be 4 15-point gems. So, and that, even though that's not exactly what happened in this game,
basically,
that's basically what happens in power gems. So
it's the difference for sure.
For Sacramento to turn this game around, they're really going to have to draw back. Well, I don't want to say draw back, that's another term, but they have to really tamp down on those jammer penalties.
Exactly right. Scorpiopathic taking the star for Naptown. Big tumble in the pack there over the top of Crystal, the jammer for Sacramento. Everyone kind of stuck there at the pivot line, a familiar location for the defense to lock it down today so far.
Everyone loves that pivot line. There's just something about it that draws the wheel.
Scorpiopathic, wow, taking a lot of impact, but makes it through. Lead jammer status going to the Tornado Sirens in this jam. And a nice long run back there by number 16, Crash Into You, the pivot for Naptown, making life tough for Crystal at the back of the pack.
Crystal now with a star off her head, looking for Pink Floyd, who's serving as a pivot right now. Pink Floyd taking the pass, now the jammer of record for Sacramento, but...
Yeah, that was a quick and well-executed star pass there by Sacramento. Going to put the pressure on. Scorpiopathic able to make it through for another 4 points. No, just for the 4 points of this jam.
4 points.
And gets the jam called off. So 96 now for Naptown, 34 for Sacramento.
So you brought up earlier that Pink Floyd was in the jammer roster in previous seasons, and I think that cat pass being so seamless is because Pink understands where to be, when to be there. As a jammer, she can really read what needs to happen, and I think that paid off in that moment.
Yeah, it's so great to have pivots in the pack who have real bona fide jammer experience, you know, able to make the most out of those opportunities.
Right. Unlike when I go in as a pivot, and
yeah,
I'm like, I'm trying to help.
So
Aerial
quick
Twister
move around the outside line. Aerial Twister picking up lead for Sacramento.
And she pulled the whole pack around the turn with her. They were trying to catch her, they could not.
I think that's Roulette Wheels fighting on the initial pass for Naptown. Star in hand.
Right. Aerial Twister just went for that inside line skip, but got knocked out by Naptown's pivot. Had to recycle around the pack.
Oh, and now a star pass to Chariot of Fire, the pivot for Naptown.
And we're going to see if Ariel can catch her or is interested in catching her to score some points. It looks like
Chariot of Fire hits her knees on the outside line, but stays in bounds apparently. So 4 points picked up there by Naptown. Ariel also picking up 4 points. Chariot of Fire in front though, meeting up with the defense for Sacramento in the back of the pack right now on another scoring pass for Naptown.
Wow. Huge pile up. Narnar Jinx, Sacramento blocker, trying to catch Chariot of Fire, but going down in the turn, Aerial Twister coming in to jump the apex, but getting caught in the fray, tumbling over Nar. Not an ideal situation.
It was like in the middle of the jam, everyone's like, quick, let's make a human pyramid.
You know, that's a big priority. You can have you got to get those Instagram photos
right
early before everyone runs off after the game.
Exactly. Photo opportunity.
They are constant. They're many. That was a tricky jam.
Yeah.
And something interesting, Sacramento ran it a little long. I thought they were going to go for the point prevention and call it off, but I think they're trying to get back in the game. Unfortunately,
and you know, I
got 8
thought
points.
I thought that Naptown had 2 scoring passes on that.
I also thought that.
You thought that too? Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe the officials are
on
discussing, perhaps. I'm not sure.
A lot happened in that last moment.
There were photo opportunities. There were human pyramids. There was a lot going on. And it looks like probably after that jam, a couple of people might be hurting. So let me mention Evolved Health Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. If you're experiencing pain, discomfort, or you just want to feel better, move better.
How did you know?
Check out Evolved Health Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, a unique combination of muscle and joint manipulation, physiotherapy, and customized therapeutic exercise. We aim to get you better faster. You can visit the website at evolvedhealthchiropractic.com. Thanks for your support of the 2019 Lobster Roll.
Looks like right now we're taking an official timeout. I think, as mentioned, the officials are trying to sort out what happened.
And the points for Naptown did go up on the board, so it was 8-8 on the jam. And it's nice to be right every once in a while, you
Yeah,
know?
sometimes we are right.
Sometimes.
You might be surprised. I'm not, though. I'm right all the time.
Of course.
So, I'm very humble in that way.
So it's been a very exciting and physical game, I'd say. Naptown has been in control, I'd say, for most of the game. Had some power jams in their favor as well along the way.
I think, as we've discussed, the power jams and the lead jammer status percentage are really what's making this game for Naptown, and for the most part makes every game. If you're in control of who's lead jammer, you can control the timing of the game, you can keep the other team from scoring, and that's huge. And that's the reason, even though in a way we're seeing similar caliber of defense between these two teams, you know, the jammer, Milo, I don't know, the things that we get from having skilled jammers are what's bringing their score ahead.
Yeah, I will say that Sacramento's defense, to me, looks a little bit more kind of planted and solid. Usually set up in the front in some kind of static formations, whereas
less dynamic.
Yeah, a little bit less dynamic blocking. Naptown's defense is just so aggressive, so sticky, I'll call it, to the jammer, and both teams are really having effective moments in terms of knockouts and dragbacks and that kind of thing. But Naptown's defense just very, very aggressive on those Sacramento jammers. So back underway, Will Smith taking the star for Naptown.
I just laugh every time I hear Will Smith. It is Will Smith, it's not the Will Smith, perhaps. In any case, Namaslay in the star for Sacramento.
And we're stuck at the pivot line.
That favorite spot on the track. You see Namaslay trying to push through towards the inside line, but Naptown has formed in front of her and is really not interested in that situation.
Will Smith stuck on a tripod in the back from Sacramento. Nice defensive formation there.
That's right, we've got Lushy, She-Ra, and Shock and Auburn hanging onto her in the turn. Looks like.
So Will Smith backing it up, trying to get a little run at this. Give him a juke.
I was wondering if she was going to get some speed to try to go for the apex, which a risky maneuver when they could see it coming that way. So I'm glad to see that's not what happened, because I think it could have ended badly.
Sacramento's got number 94 Talls up there playing some offense. Oh, and both
And
jammers.
now some defense.
Yeah, now some defense. Jammers having a rough time here. We're over. I guess Naptown is on a scoring pass here, but just not a whole lot of forward progress.
Right, even though it's a scoring pass, it's the only scoring pass so far. Will Smith finally breaking out.
I guess that was the initial pass, even though Will Smith was already blinking on the scoreboard.
That was a very long
Yeah, so that was
time,
like a minute and a half to establish a lead jammer.
which is a crazy long time in roller derby time.
So Will Smith completes one scoring pass, steps around the outside of the defense. 4 points go up for Naptown, and she calls that jam off. Wow, big time struggle on that last jam. Defense was the winner there
That
for sure.
was a lot of work for 4 points, I will say that.
So out next, number 237, Scorpiopathic for Naptown.
And that is Naylor Swift for Sacramento. It looks like Sacramento starting with one blocker in the box. They've got just 3, so they're lined up in front. And both sets of blockers giving jammers a little room to run. We'll see whether or not that was a wise choice here in a moment.
So Swifty takes a knock to the outside line, but the blocker who hit her followed her out of bounds, so able to step right back in, but gets caught up on the back wall of Naptown defense once again.
I think I heard a whistle for Scorpiopathic becoming lead jammer, but at the same instant she got knocked out of play. Naka with a recycle to the back of the pack.
Big takeout to the outside, wow.
Yeah, Naylor Swift going down, now she has to recycle. Scorpiopathic finally out of the pack. Naylor Swift still working that initial pass, getting smushed to the inside, both by the Naptown pack and a little bit by her own pack coming in for defense.
Scorpiopathic gets knocked to the outside line with a long reset behind Sacramento's defense. There's 2 in the back there holding it down, and Sacramento's jammer is still working on that initial pass.
Right, but Conquistadorable coming in, trying to play a little offense. And that was number 07, Chariot of Fire, trying to replicate that matrix maneuver.
So Chariot of Fire, last line of defense on Swifty there in the front, but Swifty makes it through on the initial pass. And Scorpiopathic able to sneak around the outside for another scoring pass. 3 points the pickup there, so 7 total on the jam for Naptown, opening up that score a little bit more as we get close to 20 minutes left to play here.
She-Ra went for the hit on Scorpiopathic and did get her out of play at the last second of the jam, hoping to prevent another scoring jam, but of course Scorpiopathic calling that off regardless.
Roulette Wheels taking the star for Naptown up against Crystal for Sacramento.
Our current score, 115 to 43. We've got 20 minutes left in this game.
Now Roulette Wheels jammed a little bit this morning, but I'd say that Diamond loomed a little bit larger in the jammer rotation this morning, but Roulette Wheels having the chance to be a kind of a true third rotation jammer in this game and having quite a bit of success. Already out and lead jammer for Naptown, coming in for a scoring pass, just 1 to beat in the front. She does make it by, gets the jam called off to hold Sacramento scoreless. A quick 4-0 jam for Naptown.
And seeing Roulette Wheels jam in this game, having not watched their first game very closely, it's surprising that she wouldn't have been in their main jammer rotation because she looks more than capable. But that's probably also just a testament to how effective Diamond is as a jammer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately not playing this afternoon.
And Roulette definitely did skate this morning. I noticed at one point, and I know this again, from experience as a skater, she was kind of getting ready to go in and doing some squats from the bench, like getting ready, warmed up to get back in there. But we're back underway. Will Smith, already lead jammer for Naptown, as Ariella Twister takes a big knock to the inside from number 51, Micah, and a long reset. Will Smith already through with 4 points for Naptown, coming around for another scoring pass.
Ariella Twister still stuck in turn 1. Another scoring pass.
Yeah, easy pass.
Yeah, the Sacramento Walkers were distracted trying to get Ariella Twister out of the pack.
Yeah, Ariel doing some somersaults, practicing the gymnastic moves on the inside line.
Fun fact, she used to be a wrestler in high school. So
interesting.
That's where I think a lot of her movement style originates.
Oh, a big hit on the outside line. That's Chariot of Fire, difference maker in the first game, earned MVP status this morning.
I can see why.
Yeah, making things tough for Ariel right now at the back of the pack.
So one thing to note was a moment ago, Narnar Jinx went to the penalty box, and I think she could be in penalty danger. I know when we started this half, she had 4 penalties, one of the most in the game. I'm not sure how many she's at now, but she's a pretty big part of the blocking rotation.
Yeah.
So if she does end up fouling out, it would be pretty bad for Sacramento.
Well, Will Smith on a total tear right now, already 20 points on the jam and through the pack once again. That's going to be 24 points. A year ago, this would have been 30 points. Right now, it's worth 24.
So depreciation
yeah,
of derby points.
Exactly, but a huge jam for Naptown, just opening this thing up. Will Smith pouring on the points.
When you say that, I picture the Apex tweeting that "Let's open this pit up" gif. They are opening this pit up, and in the previous half, their biggest jam for Naptown was 20 points. We're blowing up that previous record now. Huge jam. 20. It looks like 28 points if we're done.
30 points.
30
wowza.
points.
4 points allowed from Sacramento as well. So the difference, 26 points on that jam between the two teams, but still
pretty
huge.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And again, without that jammer lap point, that's 7 laps in a jam to get all those points. So that's a lot of roller skating.
And it looks like a team timeout for Sacramento. I think well timed after that.
A good moment for a team timeout.
Yeah. Big jam from Naptown there. So Sacramento gonna
regroup.
Circle up, regroup, try to figure out how to play the rest of these 17 minutes that are left on the period clock. And that is a good opportunity for us to thank another one of our sponsors, Cambridge School of Culinary Arts, or is it culinary?
I think it's
arts?
culinary.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll
I
just
may
stick
have
with
accidentally said something completely different.
Well, about the culinary arts, Cambridge School offers professional culinary and pastry training programs, recreational cooking classes for everybody, also private cooking or baking classes for family parties or corporate events. You can visit cambridgeculinary.com for more information, and we thank them for their support of the 2019 Lobster Roll.
So going into the next jam, we're seeing Naptown now with a 100-point lead over Sacramento. So the score 149 to 47. Naptown leading by 102 points. That's a lot. So
yeah, and I mean, it's worth mentioning again that Naptown coming into this weekend ranked number 28 in the WFTDA, Sacramento coming in ranked 42. So it's not a huge difference, you know, relative to the 300-plus leagues that are in the WFTDA ranking system. But still, there's a bit of distance between these two teams. If I can do math, which is very, very difficult for me, I think that's 14 ranking spots difference.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I mean, certainly not insurmountable, and we've seen upsets like this before. I mean, we've even seen upsets like that at Clover Cup last year by Sacramento. But Naptown definitely dominant in this game so far.
That said, Naylor Swift currently the lead jammer, tripping out of the pack, but lead jammer all the same, and that is the kind of momentum Sacramento needs for the last 20 minutes of the game. If not to win the game, at least to help the rankings position.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all know that every point you score against your opponent is, that's the multiplier that you're working with in the ranking system. So Sacramento looking to put some more points up on the board. Coming around for another scoring pass for Sacramento. Takes a knock to the outside by standout blocker number 51, Micah, the captain for Naptown.
Pink Freud trying to get the Naptown jammer out of play, but Scorpiopathic not hearing it, carrying on. So something I just learned is that Naptown in this half has had an 86% of the jams they've been lead jammer. Across the whole game, 77%. And that's huge. That's pretty much
dominant. That's
of the
complete.
game.
Yeah, complete dominant lead jammer status, and it's such an important stat to
have
on
all
your
stats,
side.
That's a pretty key one. So again, that's really reflected in the score, and that's why we're seeing a 100-point lead at this juncture in the game.
Roulette wheels, wow, nice toe stop work around the outside of the Sacramento defense, picking up lead jammer status for Naptown and coming around very, very quickly on a scoring pass for the Tornado Sirens.
We saw Namaste at the beginning of that jam trying to follow some offense from Con Artist, but now currently getting worked over by that Naptown pack. Con Artist on her own, not enough to get Namaste out.
Naptown doing really, really good work at the back of the pack on defense. Crash into you. The pivot who's taken a number of star passes today, just doing great work on defense.
Sacramento currently with 2 blockers in the penalty backs, including Pivot, Shock, and Auburn, which is going to, it's kind of a risk factor for Sacramento right now. Namaste still caught in the pack on that initial pass. Well, still now finishing the initial pass with about 1 minute left in this jam. That's a very long time.
There were already 12 points picked up by Naptown on that jam, and Sacramento getting the jammer out of the pack really put the pressure on, stop the bleeding on that jam, you might say, and got the thing called off there. 12-0, the pickup for Naptown, extending their lead. Looks like, wow, 113 points?
Sounds about right.
So a big gap between these two teams. Out to jam next, we've got Will Smith taking on Pink Freud. There she is.
You finally get to see your dream.
My dreams are coming true,
Pink
everybody.
Freud jamming again. I mean, that's what I took from that discussion. That's your dream.
That it was my dream, okay.
Yeah.
No, actually my dream is to see more blockers turning into more jammers turning into blockers. That's my dream.
It's a good dream. I like it.
But no, I do love to see Pink Freud getting out and getting lead jammer status.
Hey, there's a little delay on that. I was nervous. I was like, oh no, did she get a penalty? But she did not. And Sacramento hoping to get a few points here. And I'm seeing the bench signal for them to continue their.
Smart move, I think, to let this run a little bit.
You can't get points if you're not playing the game, and you can't really afford to burn game time when you're 100 points down.
Will Smith made it through on a scoring pass as well, but Pink Freud's so aggressive as a jammer, able to make it through again. So if Sacramento can get this defense set up to hold Will Smith a little bit.
Sacramento just has 2 blockers on the track right now, and they are not together. Conquistador almost hit Will Smith out, but I think took a step out on her way.
All right, Sacramento up to 3 blockers now in the pack. 4 more points picked up by Naptown. And did the jam time out? I think it must have.
I think Pink Freud called it
off.
Oh,
she did, okay.
But there wasn't much jam time left.
With Ohio Plains, GUU 8049. That's
Out to jam next. It looks like Crystal taking the star for Sacramento up against Scorpiopathic for Naptown.
So in that jam, that last jam, even though it was Pink Floyd's first time out starting as a jammer, she had taken 2 star passes in this game. So she's been doing her part for the jam rotation all along.
Quick lead jammer call for Scorpiopathic of Naptown, able to sneak around the outside line with some help from a great offensive play in the pack. Takes a knock to the inside line and gets dragged back by number 970, Narnar Jinx.
Crystal now has the star in hand, but she's got 2 blockers to beat at the front of the pack. Once again, we're seeing her trying to push them out of play. Offense coming in to help, but I think mostly what that offense is doing is giving them pack.
It was a high block going to Crystal, sending her to the penalty box with star in hand. So a power jam now for Scorpiopathic and Naptown.
That's tough for Sacramento. I think this is the 5th power jam we're seeing for Naptown, which again has been very decisive in their lead for this game.
So the pack is all jumbled up together over there in corner 3. And Scorpiopathic able to jump over the inside line. Quick 4 points for the Tornado Sirens, bringing them up to 12 points already on the jam.
The pack moving backwards, trying to get away from that dangerous turn. No more jumps here is what that says.
Yeah.
We're seeing Naka drag Scorpiopathic back and forth along the track, but Sacramento having a hard time regrouping their defense because Naptown, as you said, very aggressive in their play style, and they are coming for it on that offense. They're not giving Sacramento any opportunity to get back together and form a blocking unit.
So Naptown losing 1 blocker to the penalty box. Looks like Wham Bam taking a seat there. And Sacramento doing a great job in the back on Scorpiopathic. Now Scorpio has already had 16 points in this jam, probably feeling all those points right now at the end of the jam. But Sacramento able to lock it down there at the end. Just 4 more points picked up. So I think that's a 20-point jam for Naptown, holding Sacramento scoreless there, opening up that lead even more.
That's right. Naptown has really run away with the score in the second half. They were, of course, in a strong position coming into the second half of this game, but between jammer penalties and the rest of it, Naptown has really taken off, and to have about a 140-point lead is pretty well insurmountable at this point of the game. 10 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and I feel like to me this says more about Naptown kind of asserting themselves at the start of the 2019 season, even than it says about Sacramento. I mean, a team can have any type of performance in March and then completely recover and have a great season. But Naptown is really telling us that they are here for 2019. They are ready to grind it out, and they have a very, very strong. Yes, exactly. They have a very strong squad, a lot of experience, great aggressive defense, and a really strong jammer line as well. So it's exciting to see what they'll do this year.
Absolutely, Star Trek. You're right about that. And you know, talking about coming out of the gate this strong, I think one thing we talked about earlier with Sacramento having that roster shakeup, you know, they're not starting with that like fully cohesive team. They still are learning each other's play styles and building the hive mind, as I like to say. So, you know, the Sacramento we see in August may look completely different from the Sacramento we're seeing right now.
That's Will Smith with the star up against Ariel a Twister for Sacramento. Ariel able to sneak around with a spin on the outside line, picking up lead jammer for Sacramento.
Twisting away, if you will.
And a star pass in progress for Naptown. It looks like the pivot's got that thing stashed.
That is Teeth, I think.
Yeah, Teeth looking for the initial pass right now.
Ariel Twister, though, looking for a second scoring pass. Once again, we're trying to just up that point differential at this point in the game to limit any rankings loss.
Ariel Twister takes a knock out of bounds, a long reset behind the jammer line. Naptown's defense kind of broken up here, not able to hold Ariel back.
Looks like we had ourselves a star pass, number 669, that's Teeth.
Teeth with the star on the helmet now. Still working on the initial pass for Naptown. So already 8 points on the jam for Sacramento. This is a nice pickup for them.
This is probably Sacramento's biggest jam of the half, if not the whole game. So Ariel Twister did have an 8-point jam earlier in this half. but in the first half, two other 8-point jams. So this is about as good as it's gotten for Sacramento in this game. It's been pretty low scoring when there has been scoring, but
Teeth has made it out on the initial pass for Naptown. Ariel has completed the 3rd scoring pass and is already in on the 4th scoring pass. So up to 16 points now for Sacramento. A very nice pickup.
So I was just wondering whether Ariel was going to call off the jam and try to prevent any scores for Naptown.
But with the pivot turn jammer, I mean, this is a great opportunity to let the jam run. And, you know, the Sacramento defense was doing a great job holding Teeth back. Not really set up to do so right now, so I think that was a smart call off.
Yeah, the pack really picking up a lot of speed. Ariel tried to dip under the pack. She did get, I think, a couple more points on that last pass, bringing Sacramento up to 16, their biggest jam in the game.
Yeah, definitely a big pickup. 3 more points go up, so it's a 19-4 jam in favor of Sacramento.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So current score 197-83, just under 8 minutes left in this game. We do have one more game today after this.
Oh, it's going to be a good one, too.
It's gonna be the best game of the day. I mean, they're all the best games of the day, but I think the crowd excitement is really, I'm feeling it.
So Roulette Wheels has the star for Naptown, pushing up at the front of the pack on the Sacramento defense. But that is going to be Naylor Swift, I think. Lead jammer status for Sacramento. A little bit of a second wind here in the second period. I like it.
A few minutes to go, and they're like, wait a minute.
Hold on. Points.
We're losing. We can do something about this. Ooh, that was quite a pirouette. Oh, Naylor Swift, she thought she was safe.
Yeah, that
she was not.
Both toes were out of bounds there, so definitely an illegal gaining of position there from out of bounds. So penalty box trip for Naylor Swift and a power jam for Roulette Wheels of Naptown. Forearm is going to send one of the Sacramento blockers to the penalty box.
It's Conquistadorable.
Conquistadorable with the cutest name ever.
It's a very good name. So we've got Con Artist of Pink Floyd at the front of the pack, trying to hold on to Roulette Wheels and basically waste as much penalty time as they can. Not an easy task. They've got 3 blockers on the track, and Narnar Jinx caught behind the pack, but she is being a useful goat instead of just letting them. I say, if you're going to be a goat, you can be a useful goat.
Might as well make yourself useful.
Yeah.
So that is 4 points for Sacramento coming out of the box and making it through the pack.
Naylor Swift looking for that inside line. She's caught behind 3 from Naptown right now, but Con Artist trying to help out. Both jammers now just stuck in the pack as it comes to its favorite position on the track, the finish line.
There's supposed to be a little dip right there or something.
There's a gravity well.
So both jammers seem to kind of slow down and get really cautious there as that jam went on. We're coming up to just 5 minutes left on the period clock in this game. So, and again, we keep mentioning both of these teams have played already today. So it's really important to stay in control of your body, stay out of the box.
We'll both play again tomorrow, so you have that to consider. Looks like we are taking a timeout for Sacramento.
So I can thank one of our sponsors, Blood and Thunder Magazine. Life is better on roller skates.
It is. That's a known fact.
Find out more at bloodandthundermag.com.
So here in this timeout, current score 205 for Naptown, 91 for Sacramento. Sacramento, I think, probably for pride's sake, trying to at least hit that 100-point mark. We have 5.5 minutes left in the game. Not a lot of minutes to play with.
Yep. And then right after this game, just a little preview of what's coming up next, we will have interviews with the MVPs from both of these teams. And then we are going to bring you such a cool game at 7 p.m. Number 35, the home team, Boston Roller Derby, Boston Massacre, taking on number 38, Dublin.
And I would be willing to bet that Dublin is underranked. I saw some of their game earlier against Houston, and they really kicked ass. We know a lot of the European and non-U.S. teams are underranked just based on who they can travel to play. So I would be You know, I'm expecting a pretty fearsome game from Dublin.
Yeah, I think they came to play this weekend. I think that's for sure.
They did come to play.
Dublin has already played 2 sanctioned games this year as well, so they're very much warmed up and
Wasting no
ready to
time.
go. Yeah, and
No.
including the one this morning.
Right.
So,
All right, Namaste lead jammer. I think this is her second lead status in the game. And once again, this is her first sanctioned game for Sacramento.
yeah, Sacramento on a little bit of a tear here. I like it to close this game out, picking up a lot of lead jammer status, putting some points on the board late in the game.
There's no better time.
Number 237, Scorpiopathic, stuck on a tripod from Sacramento in the back, looking for the star pass to Chariot of Fire, the pivot for Naptown. Able to complete that star pass. Chariot of Fire just one to beat in the front. She's able to make it by and put some pressure on for this jam. But, you know, like we've been saying, it probably makes sense for Sacramento to run this a little bit, try to stop Chariot of Fire.
Well, as Apex always says on Twitter, go long when you're down.
Yeah.
There's only 5 minutes left on the clock, so if you want to, you know, waste more of it, that's kind of
Ooh,
on you.
wow. That was an amazing block. That was number 618.
That's Pippi Long stomping. And
Wow.
I will say, my wife.
Oh, Derby wife or real wife?
Derby wife.
Okay, Derby wife, okay. I mean, not that Derby wives aren't real wives, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. No, Mr. Stone, my real husband, is at home.
Okay.
Perhaps watching the stream right now.
Well, wow, what an incredible hit. Really took the feet out from under Chariot of Fire.
Chariot of Fire, I guess, going to go all the way around. They're going to try to get the pack to eat the baby, and also just in the interest of wasting more time because
Yeah, the clock's on their
she's
side.
in a position to do it.
Right.
So Namaste.
So, and they successfully did it. Wow. Nice move there by Naptown.
I forgot that Namaste was the lead jammer. She didn't have to put up with that treatment. She could have called it off initially.
Well, it was 9-4 on the jam. Sacramento reaches 100. So that's a nice
Proud moment.
Yeah, a nice milestone for them here late in the game. Will Smith taking the star for Naptown up against Crystal for Sacramento.
We have just over 3 minutes left in this game. Not a lot of game left, but honestly, it's getting better with every moment.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep us wanting more.
So Sacramento with the defense lined up in the back. Will Smith pushing at that 2-wall with some help from an offensive player.
I think that is number 856, Iggy Impalia.
Will Smith able to make it out for lead jammer status.
Crystal now out of the pack on her initial pass as well, and the pack is gearing up for defense just outside of turn 2.
Will Smith able to find a great line through the pack, but
Pink
meets up with
Floyd.
Pink Floyd at the front.
She
Wow.
will murder you.
Yeah, big impact there at the front of the pack.
That was a team effort, though, because we saw Conquistador whip around and try to catch the jammer, but Pink Floyd finished the job by catching Will Smith. So, teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's what they keep telling me. I guess it depends on your dreams.
Roulette Wheels taking the star once again for Naptown up against
Let's see, Aerial Twister again. One of
familiar matchup.
Yeah, we're seeing that pairing a lot. I think as they run into get in their habit.
I feel like Sacramento has started setting up more in the back, and it seems to be working for them. Taking a cue from Naptown.
I mean, I personally find that being in the back is usually more effective, but it really just depends on what your jammer prefers.
Yeah. So the pack completely racing here, trying to get the 27-5 ticked off for the year, it looks
No
like.
thanks.
Wow, it's a total foot race out there. Aerial Twister makes it into the pack, picks up, I think that's 3 points for Sacramento, 1 point stolen there by Naptown.
They were betting on the fact that Ariel is so freaking fast.
So fast.
She will outrace pretty much anyone. So, I mean, that's one way to do it. Fortunately, a very tiring way of doing it.
Scorpiopathic, the other kind of high-scoring jammer for Naptown, taking the star in what's sure to be one of our last couple of jams, if not the last jam. We've got a minute left on the period clock right now. Naylor Swift with the star for Sacramento.
Once again, we're seeing the defense slow down in turn 1. Naylor Swift now lead jammer, another lead jammer status for Swifty. Again, it's funny how we're seeing this late game momentum
Yeah.
from Sacramento. They abruptly became determined, or maybe just finally got Naptown's number. I'm not
But
sure
I'd
which.
say, did that happen like maybe 10 minutes to go in the game? Like it was pretty late.
Pretty late. If this happened 30 minutes ago,
Yeah.
would have been pretty good.
Yeah, we could have closed it a little bit more, but right now we've got Swifty sitting in the penalty box. I did not see the call.
Neither did I.
It was a cut.
Cutting penalty.
Thank you.
Thank you, production team.
So 4 points go up for Naptown, and it looks like our period clock has expired now, so as soon as Scorpiopathic decides to call this thing off, we are done for this game. One more game to go tonight. Scorpiopathic makes it through for 4 points.
We are on jam time now. Game time is expired, so this could well be the last jam.
Swifty is coming back in from the penalty box now, and of course, looking for a couple more points for Sacramento.
And since Naylor Swift was the lead jammer, there's no lead jammer now. It's
I
a
see.
2-minute jam.
So Swifty puts up 4 points, and we've got 20 seconds left to go on jam time. Nice offensive clear to make a lane on the outside for Swifty, picking up another 4 points for Sacramento.
Swifty is really moving quickly around that track, and I thought for sure she was about to slip through that pack, but Iggy going for the hit, knocking her out. The jam expires. It's a win for Naptown. I feel comfortable expressing that unofficial score. So 234 to 116 here at the end of the game. Big lead for Naptown. They were the higher ranked team, but that is still a pretty formidable win.
Yeah, and they were in control of the game the entire time. I think the very first jam, Sacramento put up those 8 points.
Right, I got really excited.
And then after that, it was Naptown the whole way. So before we bring you our MVP interviews, I want to thank one of our sponsors. New England Roller Derby Report wants to thank the production sponsor this weekend, Sociopath. That's SEWCIOPATH. It's a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals, size inclusive, activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armbands and helmet cover for scrimmage and for competition. Team discounts are available, so please see us at sociopath.ca for more details.
I would also like to thank our sponsor, the Derby Apex. Our first day of Lobster Roll 2019 is brought to you by the Derby Apex. Training tips, league resources, scores, analysis, and so much more. The Apex is your one-stop roller derby media source. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and bookmark the DerbyApex.com to stay up to date with the latest news from #Derby Twitter and the Derby community.
All right, we will be back very shortly with some interviews from our MVPs voted on by the opposing team tonight, which is very cool. So stay tuned, and then after that, we're going to have Boston versus Dublin.
So definitely stay tuned for that.
feeling start. I built a wall around my heart, but you're breaking it down. It falls to the ground, 'cause I have lost what you just found. The noise all around, I'm drowning it out, like we're the only ones in the crowd. 'Cause you save me now, save me now, save me now, save me now, save me
Hey Derby fans, it's Scar Trek coming to you live from Lobster Roll 2019. I'm here with the Naptown MVP from our last game, Iggy Impalia. Congratulations. So you are a standout blocker, I have to say. Noticed you this morning, noticed you this afternoon. So Naptown has this really aggressive, bodies-on approach to defense. Can you tell me about how your team practices that?
So last season we really struggled with having being unified in our walls. So something that we have this year is it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be effective. So any way you can get on your body on a block or a jammer legally, do it. If you have to contort yourself, if it's manageable, do it. Like, we are valuing what we can do with our bodies with any shape, and that's our whole goal for this season, just to do it.
All right, well, 2 big wins today for Naptown. How are you feeling about tomorrow going into, is it another 2 games for you guys?
Yes, we're really tired, but we're gonna pull through tonight and just bring it all together.
All right, well, congratulations again. 2 big wins today for Naptown. Up next, we're going to hear from Narnar Binks, the MVP from Sacramento.
Good evening, and welcome to our post-game interview with Sacramento Capital Mall Stars MVP number 970. You know her as Narnar Jinx, and I know her as Nar, which is the same thing, really. So, Nar, you played a really good game, even though you lost. What do you think makes you so effective as a blocker? What are you doing?
I just try to be the voice and focus on keeping us together. I always think of myself as like a mother hen. So just making sure everybody's together and being the voice.
I think that's really important, though, because we get lost in the pack.
We do. And also because I'm hard of hearing, so that's a struggle. So I have to talk to make sure that I'm also very hyper aware of what all's going on the track. It helps me, just with my lack of hearing. It helps me.
I did not actually know that about you, so no idea. My second question for you today, viewers may not know, you have a very adorable dog named Richard.
I do. I have, he just turned 1 on the morning that I had to leave, so we sang him happy birthday and gave him lots of kisses, and we're going to have a birthday party when we get back with pup cakes and all that, so I'm very excited.
So I guess my question is, how much do you miss Richard, and what would you like to say?
Richard, I love you so much. I miss you. You're my rock.
Thank you, and thank you, Richard, for the emotional support.
Yes.
Narnar Jinx, here is your MVP award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, and we will be back for the last game of the day, Dublin versus Boston, in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.